You're about to meet our partner and friend at the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He is Tom Weatherall, and he's president and CEO of the Make-A-Wish Foundation in New Jersey. Hey, good to see you, Tom.
Great to always see you, Steve.
Listen, I'll tell you what, first of all, it's great being partners with you in our Make a Difference series, and a couple things I want to ask. Economic downturn, rough for everybody. How you guys doing?
We had a remarkable year, Steve. Of course, it was still rough for us, and as it is for any nonprofit out there, any industry out there. But we had a remarkable year, and it's really because of the dedication, the commitment of our donors. We have some of the most loyal donors and volunteers who help us achieve what we do and advance our mission. We set a record last year. Despite the economy, we set a record for granting the most wishes that we ever done in any previous year. We did 478.
478 wishes were granted, all kinds of children struggling. By the way, I always think people know what Make-A-Wish is, but short version.
Thanks, Steve. We sent children all over the world. Usually when we ask a child who meets our criteria for medical eligibility, they're facing a life-threatening illness, and we ask them, if you could have one wish, what would it be? They usually answer it in any 4 categories. I wish to go, I wish to be, I wish to meet, I wish to have. And we granted wishes in all of those categories, sending children all over the world, or having them meet their favorite celebrities right here in New Jersey, the great New York Giants or New York Jets, or some of our musicians, musical celebrities and artists like John Bon Jovi and the band. And
they've been helpful.
They've been helpful. The boss, Bruce Springsteen, granted the most magnificent and memorable wish.
What did he do?
This past May, granted a wish to little Tommy, 6-year-old boy suffering from leukemia, and Tommy wanted to wait until he had a year of remission as he was in and out of CHOP for some time.
Hospital down in Philadelphia.
Who are remarkable partners with us. There's medicine, Steve, and then there's what we do, and we bring hope, strength, and joy into a child.
So what did Bruce do?
Bruce granted Tommy's wish. He wanted to meet the boss. He grew up with his mom and dad, who are big Bruce fans, and all they do is listen to Springsteen music. And Tommy grew up listening to that music, falling in love with it, and his theme song through CHOP, through going through all the treatments and the medicine that he needed, was working on a dream. And as his dad told us every day was, today we're working on getting out of the hospital. Today we're working on whatever chemo, whatever the treatment is today. And so when he went and met the boss, and the boss asked him, what's your favorite song? Tommy said, working on a dream. The boss said, we'll be playing that tonight. And Steve, when I tell you the wish that Bruce granted to Tommy, it was as if it was just he and Tommy the entire time, and no one else was there.
What's that like for you? And by the way, we have the website up for our friends at the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's a not-for-profit. You give, you volunteer, you find a way to be helpful. It's about granting the wishes of children who have had way too much pain and suffering in their life. What's it do for you?
Me personally, in the seat that I'm in, to watch a wish being granted, it's for any of our staff, Steve, no matter what the wish is, our goal is to be sure that we grant that child's fondest wish. And to see it happening, to say it's rewarding and fulfilling is an understatement. It's off the charts. But in the seat that I'm in as the CEO, I make sure that I'm holding true to what we've told our donors, what we're going to do with their funds to help a child to grant their fondest wish.
Let's talk about some of the funds, because we have some mutual friends. You actually brought us to Joe Plumeri, who's a terrific guy. Actually, there's a great piece in the New York Times about Joe, who's a very successful leader on Wall Street, in the financial industry, at the Willis Group Holdings. Real quick, Joe Plumeri, talk to us about his connection, because there were some others as well, like Jared, who we also interviewed. So go ahead.
Joe Plumeri is, everyone should have a friend like Joe Plumeri, Steve. He's been a phenomenal champion, ambassador for our mission. He was introduced to our mission by attending one of our galas, just as you were, Steve. And he immediately, it resonated with him. He saw the simplicity in our mission. I think that's the beauty of it. And if ever we're complicating this mission and making it more than it absolutely is, then we're doing it a disservice. It resonated with Joe. He asked how he could get involved, and that's what he's been doing ever since that time that we first met him a few years ago. Introduced by a dear friend of us and Jay Garibaldi, a longtime honorary board member with Rob Sansone and Richard Leventhal.
Over at Fedway,
our dear friends. Yeah.
Tell me about another friend. There's an interesting movie coming out in 2010. We're doing the program at the end of 2009. Extraordinary Measures tells a story about a heck of a guy, John Crowley. We're going to have him on. Talk about
the name of the movie, Extraordinary Measures. Aptly called. This is a remarkable, remarkable story, and it's going to resonate not just for New Jerseyans, but John is a New Jersey guy. His wife is a New Jersey girl. This is a New Jersey family story, but it's going to resonate for everyone throughout the country.
It's a family story about John.
John, 3 children, and 2 of them are diagnosed with this rare illness called Pompe disease. And at one point in John's life, he and his wife set out to find a cure for the children's disease, and they find that there's really only one doctor doing any kind of work in that disease area, and they cash in all their savings, all their life savings, 401k. They put their life and their future on hold towards a career, and John goes and finds this doctor. Well, this story was written by a Wall Street Journal reporter, Gina Anand, who did it in the Wall Street Journal. Then she did a book with John called The Cure. Harrison Ford and CBS Films bought the rights to that film, and we're all going to see it in January, where it comes out in theaters on January 22nd.
What does it have to do with Make-A-Wish?
Well, we granted both Meghan and Patrick's wishes, the 2 of John's and Eileen's 3 children. John Jr. and then Meghan and Patrick are the 2 who are afflicted with Pompe disease. And when we asked Meghan, and we later asked, a couple of years later, Patrick, if you could have one wish, what would it be? Meghan's answer was to go to Disney World. And she was fascinated with all the princesses. And I'll never forget when they came back and Eileen told me how Meghan was going to sleep night after night for the first few weeks back, just looking at Cinderella on her dresser. So, and now John is also just recently named to our national board of directors out of Phoenix. But John was last year our Humanitarian of the Year. Previous year was Joe Plumeri. We've got dear friends to the foundation.
Before I let you out of here, anyone goes on that website, they contribute. I want to make it clear.
Yeah.
Those dollars go directly to?
Directly to our wish granting fund. They are going to help us to say yes and to grant that fondest wish, Steve, of a child who seeks a wish. You know what we also need help in right now? Volunteers.
Volunteers.
We're seeking volunteers.
To do what?
They're key.
Minute left, go ahead.
They're key to our success. We can't do what we do, and particularly to help make more money go directly to programming rather than to overhead in general and salaries. We need our volunteers, whether they want to get involved with and meeting these children and helping us to carry the mission to these children, or whether they want to help us with fundraisers and other event organizing throughout the year. We need volunteers. This is also it's a plea for support. We need the donations. As much as we set a new record last year, Steve, in wish granting, it was still a big struggle getting the revenue.
We should also mention our friends at J.H. Cohn. They've been helpful, continue to be a lot of companies.
Tremendous.
Listen, we are proud to be your partners. We wish we could do more. But the fact is, you have an open invitation to your one-on-one, our trying to make a difference. And I hope people log on to that website, because you really can make a difference in the life of a kid who needs it. Thank you, Tom.
Steve. We're grateful for your friendship. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.